Okay, so today I'm going to explain to you basically what a security clearance is and how they go about it. Now, normally they do the security clearance in the basic training, but for my case, what they did was they gave me a call, and it was about a few weeks ago, so about a month and a half before I actually went into basic training. And this woman called me. It was a Washington, D.C. number, and it was like area code 202. And I thought, what number is this? I'll just go ahead and answer it to see, what it could be possibly. I answered it, and she said, this is so and so. We need to do a security clearance for you to do your job in the military. And at first I didn't believe it. I thought it was like a hoax, somebody trying to get information from me. And I called my recruiter immediately, and he says, that's, if they want any information, have them call me. And so I call them back and tell them, I talked to my recruiter, talk to him if you want any information about me. But so what had happened was she called me again and just verified, my name and address. And then I said, so, I want to make sure that this isn't, this is legit. And she said, of course, we're going to meet somewhere in in your city, and more likely at your recruiters. So I said, that's fine. You can meet me, and then we'll do that security clearance, somewhere that's more secure than over the phone. And my recruiter called me about 2 weeks later after she told me that. She didn't give me a specific day. So from there, again, about 2 weeks later, my recruiter calls and he says, hey, you need to do this before you leave. And, it just depends. You can get your security clearance done before or after you leave, while you're in basic training or before basic training. So they call me back, and or I call this woman back and tell her, hey, let's set up a day to do this. And she says, let's do it tomorrow morning. And I'm like, that's fine. So I get tell my recruiter about it, and he says that's okay. And we meet in this room, in the morning, and she basically shows me her badge. She's official from United States representative of the military going through, and you're gonna make sure they do the different types of briefings for security clearances. And she has me show her my ID. And then so again, there's three different kinds. There's the secret, top secret, and the one which is just beneath those two, which is just the basic clearance. And so whatever job, depending on what you do, you'll fall under those categories, and they'll do this clearance to make sure everything in your background is good. So in this interview, they kind of ask you a few questions and go over these sheets, almost like a application for the military, which will have where you've lived, your jobs or occupations, your family, some references, and things like that. And so she went over very detailed each one of those, and it all in all was about 2 hours. But again, categories of where you worked, and they try to figure out everything from where you've lived, and they pull questions from you to try to find out information, names, for to reference, so they can get in contact with these people if they have any questions about what you say. And they say, make sure it's to the best of your knowledge. And then they ask you again all about your occupation, your friends, if you have any friends here who you're living with now, why you resigned from your last job, or have you had any issues being detained or any write-ups while you were at work, and why you moved, things like that. And they try to get a specific reason out of you, and they're not gonna poke and prod too much, but they want to find out the gist of your reasoning behind everything. So basically, you want to go ahead and answer all the questions accurately, and you want to make sure that all the information is up to date. So from there, they, keep this information, and will go ahead and they'll use this information if they have any further questions to call a friend or somebody you worked with or a family member to make sure that this is all correct. And if you have any further questions about these security clearances, go ahead and message me or comment below this video, and please subscribe.